Welcome to our exploration. Today we're looking at lesson 334, which is really, it's a declaration. It challenges one of the most fundamental lies we tell ourselves.
Right. The lie that peace is something that happens later, always in the future.
Exactly. If you, like so many of us, have been sort of operating on this assumption that joy has to be earned.
Or that you can only relax when everything is perfect.
Yes, when the debt is paid, when you're in perfect health, when you finally reach some elusive state of self-improvement, this exploration is for you.
It is. We're going to be looking at how to dismantle that entire notion of the, as you called it, the deferred payment plan for joy.
That's the perfect term for it. And this lesson, it really insists that we stop delaying our own happiness for reasons that are, when you look at them, entirely illusory.
It's about claiming our inheritance. Peace and certainty right now, not tomorrow, not next week.
And refusing to let that pursuit of external safety distract us for even one more day. It's a declaration of independence from the ego's demands.
It is.
Before we really get into the material, just a quick note that you can always connect with us. You can send questions or comments to acim@theworldharmonyproject.org.
And we're also on TikTok and YouTube. The handle for both is at the World Harmony Project.
Okay, let's settle in and hear this. Lesson 334. It starts with this incredibly powerful statement.
Today I claim the gifts forgiveness gives.
I will not wait another day to find the treasures that my Father offers me. Illusions are all vain and dreams are gone, even while they are woven out of thoughts that rest on false perceptions. Let me not accept such meager gifts again today. God's voice is offering the peace of God to all who hear and choose to follow him. This is my choice today. And so I go to find the treasures God has given me.
I seek but the eternal. For your son can be content with nothing less than this. What then can be his solace but what adds? You are offering to his bewildered mind and frightened heart to give him certainty and bring him peace. Today I would behold my brother sinless. This your will for me, for so will I behold my sinlessness.
That very first line, I will not wait another day, has such a definitive quality, it's almost jarring.
It is. It's not a suggestion. It's not, like maybe try this eventually. It's an assertion of immediate present availability.
It's a complete rejection of the ego's favorite tool, which is time.
Time is the mechanism of delay, isn't it? The ego can't survive in the present moment.
Why is that?
Because the present moment is where the certainty of God resides. It's where reality is. So the ego has to constantly push joy, push peace into the future.
The hypothetical if-then scenario.
Exactly. If I get the promotion, then I'll be happy. If I find the right partner, then I'll feel secure. It's always conditional.
And we're so conditioned to operate on that deferred payment plan for joy. This deep-seated belief that it's something we have to earn.
Or that it's contingent on these external conditions finally aligning perfectly. We place all these conditions on accepting what is already our birthright.
That's really the core strategy of the lesson is dismantling. We mistake the condition for the cause.
Yes. We think the job or the relationship or the bank account causes the peace.
When really the peace has to be chosen first, unconditionally.
The moment we attach a condition, any condition at all, we're denying the eternal nature of the gift. We're literally trading certainty for probability.
It's this constant maintenance of external conditions just to feel okay.
You become your own gatekeeper to happiness.
Demanding prerequisites before allowing yourself to cash in on peace.
And the ego ensures that the prerequisites are endless. It's a system designed to never be completed.
Right. As soon as one condition is met, say, the debt is finally paid off.
A new one immediately appears. Now you have to worry about maintaining the investment portfolio or saving for the next big purchase.
So the pursuit itself keeps us forever in the future, forever denying the availability of right now.
This definitive tone in the lesson is the antidote. It's saying the time for hesitation is over. If peace is an inheritance, a gift, it doesn't have an earning structure.
It's already ours. We just have to stop looking past it.
And to stop looking past it, we have to recognize the nature of what we have been looking at.
Which the lesson calls illusions and meager gifts.
Precisely.
This brings us right to that contrast the lesson draws. These meager gifts versus treasures. I mean, we spend so much energy chasing and maintaining things, the lesson just dismisses as vain.
It forces a complete re-examination of our entire valuation system, what we think is important.
The lesson states, illusions are all vain, and dreams are gone, even while they are woven out of thoughts that rest on false perceptions.
That's such a sweeping dismissal. It covers everything the world holds dear.
Everything. We usually categorize dreams, don't we? We'll label a dream of success or a peaceful family life as a good dream.
We think it holds tangible, lasting value.
Right. We think it's only the bad dreams, the failures, the losses that are vain.
But the lesson makes no such distinction. It asserts that if the object of the dream can change or decay or be lost, it's vain.
So a good dream is a delayed bad dream.
Yeah. In a sense, yes, because it provides zero genuine permanent security. The outcome is always the same. Disappointment when the form inevitably shifts, because all forms do.
Let's really detail that distinction then. A meager gift is temporal. Its value is entirely dependent on external stability.
Which is, by its very nature, unstable in this world.
Whereas a treasure, in the context of this lesson, is eternal. It can't be diminished or lost or threatened in any way.
And yet we project such profound value onto these external forms. We seek our safety in a relationship, a title, a certain amount of money in the bank.
But when those external markers shift,
which they always do,
the stock market dips, the relationship changes, the job vanishes.
And that fluctuation is the very thing that proves the gift was meager. Because the comfort it provided was conditional. It was fleeting.
I can see how often I do that, tying my sense of security to external validation. If I produce work that gets accolades, for a moment, I feel validated. I feel safe.
And what happens when that same work is ignored or criticized?
My safety just vanishes. The vulnerability I feel is directly tied to the fluctuation of that external opinion.
And that is the perfect illustration. It's why the thought that safety comes from external stability actively blocks our awareness of God's peace.
Because it sets up a condition that has to fail.
It has to. The world is a system that is defined by change and decay. So you're banking on the one thing that is guaranteed to be unreliable.
So the whole function of the ego's valuation system is to distract us by making us believe value resides outside of ourselves.
It makes us chase shadows. We get caught in this dichotomy where we can't simultaneously place our faith in the shifting forms of the world and accept the certainty of the eternal. You have to choose one.
And when the lesson talks about illusions being woven out of thoughts that rest on false perceptions, it's identifying the error in the loom itself. The whole mechanism is faulty.
It is.
So what are those false perceptions? The ones that are fueling the weaving.
Well, the primary one is that we are bodies, separated from our source, and therefore that we lack something essential. We feel incomplete.
And to compensate for that perceived lack,
we project the inherent worth and safety that are already within us onto these transient external objects. Money, power, relationships, whatever it may be. We look for ourselves in the reflection of the world, but that reflection is always distorted and fading.
I remember when I was preparing for a big house move a while back, I spent weeks, anticipating the new kitchen.
Okay.
I was focused on the modern design, the appliances, and I found myself thinking again and again, once I get a place with this type of kitchen and that kind of yard, Then the move will be great. Then I can relax.
And that seemingly harmless thought is precisely what the lesson is targeting. It's the perfect example. You were weaving a dream, a whole narrative of future peace. The peace was never in the kitchen, but the moment you attached your peace to the future state of that kitchen, you actively denied the peace that was available to you in that present moment.
Standing in my old, perfectly functional kitchen.
And that denial is an active block. That decision to delay your peace until the condition was met was you accepting a meager gift, the fleeting fantasy of material comfort instead of the certainty of present peace.
And that illusion, it says, is gone even while it's being woven.
Of course. Because the moment you move in, you start anticipating the next future worry, the landscaping, the property taxes, whatever's next, and the peace you attach to the new kitchen just dissolves.
It makes that line, "Let me not accept such meager gifts again today," feel so much more personal. It's a commitment to stop substituting that temporary solace for real certainty.
And that commitment leads us straight to the practical application of the lesson. It's the mechanism for how we actually claim this immediate peace.
How do we stop weaving the dream?
By changing our perception of our brother.
Today I would behold my brother sinless. This is the actual work.
It's not some abstract meditation on the concept of treasure.
No,
Yeah.
it's actively looking at the people in our lives, our partners, our colleagues, our neighbors, and intentionally refusing to use their perceived past errors as a justification for withholding our peace.
You're trading the grievance for the gift. That's the transaction.
And this is the gritty part, isn't it?
It really is. It is so easy to forgive humanity in theory, in the abstract.
But it's extraordinarily difficult to behold your neighbor as sinless when their behavior is actively causing you distress.
Let's use that example, the inconsiderate neighbor. Let's say it's 2 a.m, you have to be up early, and they're having a loud bonfire in their backyard.
Right. In that specific moment, my mind doesn't go to their eternal sinlessness. It instantly screams, this person is rude, they're inconsiderate, and they are guilty of stealing my peace in my sleep.
The ego loves that. It just capitalizes on that judgment momentum. It instantly tries to convince you that the neighbor is the cause of your suffering.
And in doing so, it grants me the meager gift of righteous anger.
And the victim identity that comes with it. This is the exact moment where we have to apply the lesson.
The grievance itself, that emotional hook that says, this person is bad and they are responsible for my suffering, that's the block to my peace.
You feel justified in your anger, but that anger guarantees you will not feel peace. The two are mutually exclusive.
So the practice is to stop that identification, to look past the behavior.
And it's so crucial to clarify what sinlessness means here. It does not mean you're supposed to be a doormat.
You're not just passively resigning yourself to the noise.
Not at all. You can still buy earplugs. You can still go over and talk to them calmly in the morning. The practice isn't about ignoring behavior. It's about releasing the judgment.
The ontological condemnation, the thought that says, you are a bad person, that has to be released.
That's the distinction. Sinlessness is a statement about their true identity as a creation of God, which is immutable and innocent. It is not an endorsement of their 2 a.m. bonfire.
If I hold the grievance, if I hold on to that judgment of sin, I've successfully convinced myself that my peace can be attacked.
That it can be stolen by an external temporal event. And in that moment, you have accepted the meager gift of victimhood over the treasure of your invulnerability.
So the practice is this active, moment-to-moment correction of perception, even when the external stimulus is painful or irritating.
It requires real vigilance. Think about another common trigger, the friend who is chronically critical of your life choices.
Oh, that's a good one.
Every interaction can be fraught with tension because you're mentally preparing your defense before they even say anything. You're bracing for the unsolicited advice or the passive-aggressive commentary.
I absolutely recognize that pattern. I accept a relationship defined by defensive preparation. I'm already prejudging her as a sinner against my peace before the phone even rings.
And by doing that, you've accepted the meager gift of fear and defensiveness. You believe that safety comes from being prepared, from defending yourself.
Which always implies I'm vulnerable.
Always. The friend in that scenario is just the mechanism the ego is using to confirm your own belief in your vulnerability.
So if I choose to apply lesson 334 in that moment, as the phone is ringing, what does that look like?
It means you consciously decide as you answer to intentionally look for the innocent spark in her, the Christ in her.
Regardless of the words that come out of her mouth.
Regardless of the words, you are seeing her as sinless, which means you are seeing her as not defined by her critical ego or her temporary, fearful judgments.
That has to change the entire dynamic of the conversation.
It transforms it, because when you refuse to accept the premise of an attack, there is nothing to defend against. When you intentionally see the innocence in her, you remove the emotional hook that makes her words feel painful.
The perceived threat just dissolves.
It does, and the conversation is transformed, not because she suddenly changed her personality, but because you changed your internal perception.
This moves us into the profound internal consequence of forgiveness. We're going from the mechanism of application to the ultimate goal: certainty, self-affirmation.
And the lesson links them directly. Today I would behold my brother sinless. This your will for me, for so will I behold my sinlessness.
You can't separate them. You can't separate your perception of others from your perception of yourself.
Never. If I see the neighbor as the villain who is stealing my sleep, I simultaneously cast myself in the role of the victim.
And that victim identity is, by definition, diminished. A victim is weak, fragile, entirely at the mercy of the external world for its safety.
And that identity is fundamentally not the Son of God. It's a role we choose to play.
This is the crux of it then. We mistakenly believe that judging others protects us, that it validates our suffering.
When in reality, it just diminishes us. It confirms the belief that we are these small, vulnerable selves that can be hurt by a rude comment or a loud bonfire or a critical friend.
We accept the meager gift of separation and suffering.
So when I choose to behold my brother as sinless, when I actively affirm the truth, the invulnerable Christ in him, I am in that same instant affirming that exact same invulnerable truth in myself.
It's a unified act of claiming safety for everyone involved.
It perfectly illustrates the law that giving and receiving are one. If I give guilt, whether to the neighbor or the friend, I receive a guilty, fearful world and a frightened self.
But if I give forgiveness, if I claim their immutable innocence,
then you receive the certainty of your own safety, your own wholeness.
that reminds me of the heavy load of holding grudges. I think I've shared the story of holding a year-long grudge against a close friend.
After your surgery.
Yes, after surgery. They didn't show up in the way I expected, and I was holding them accountable with my silence and my distance. I thought my grievance was justified.
But who was carrying the burden of that accountability? Who was actually suffering the most in that year?
It was me, 100%. I was the one waking up with that knot of resentment in my stomach. I was the one constantly rehearsing the grievance in my head.
So the grievance became your identity?
It did. I was the betrayed one. And that identity was so isolating and so heavy. It just kept confirming my belief that I could be easily hurt by what other people did or didn't do.
The unforgiveness wasn't a tool for justice. It was an isolating prison you had built around yourself. That grievance wasn't a valuable treasure. It was a meager gift of self-pity that confirmed your false, fearful identity.
The moment of release, the real freedom, came when I recognized that laying down that emotional load wasn't a favor to my friend. It was a radical act of self-care.
It was for you.
It was for me. I realized their mistake, or their failure, didn't actually change my inherent worth or my reality one bit. The grievance was a meaningless burden that I finally just chose to discard.
And this process, discarding fear and grievance, it leads us to the ultimate result mentioned in the lesson. It leads to certainty.
The text refers to offering solace to a bewildered mind and frightened heart.
Which is the universal human condition, really.
Yeah.
Our minds are bewildered because we don't know who we are. We believe we're these fragile, temporary bodies.
And we're frightened because we believe we're alone and vulnerable to attack, to decay, to loss.
The one problem, as the Course calls it, is the belief in separation, the belief in unsafety. We think we are subject to the random changing whims of the world.
And the one solution is the atonement, the recognition that separation never actually occurred.
And forgiveness is the active application of that.
Right.
It's how we practice the atonement. It's the process of clearing away the ego's interference, all that static, so we can finally hear the certainty of God's voice, which is always offering us peace.
The specific gain of this lesson is certainty. The world can't offer that.
It can't. The world offers probability at best.
Right. It tells us, based on past data, probably you will be healthy. Or, based on current trends, probably the market will hold.
It's all based on future projection and past data. It's entirely dependent on fleeting forms, which are inherently uncertain.
Certainty, on the other hand, is a state of knowing that transcends all of that. It's the knowledge that regardless of what happens to the body or the bank account or what the critical friend says,
my safety and my identity as I truly am remain whole, unchanged, and eternal.
To receive that certainty, though, we have to relinquish the fear that demands defense.
You do. And relinquishing defense means giving up those meager gifts we cling to for comfort.
The comfort of being right.
The comfort of having a valid grievance.
The comfort of victimhood.
That's the ultimate trade. You're exchanging the temporary, heavy comfort of a grievance for the weightless, eternal state of peace.
We cling to our grudges because they give us a false sense of identity, a defensive identity. But they leave us feeling empty and perpetually fearful.
And today, we are asked to trade that empty shell for the actual peace of God. We are making a bargain where we give up a self-imposed limitation and, in return, claim everything that is eternally ours. We're refusing to wait.
So to recap this exploration of Lesson 334, the core message is that we are done delaying our peace. We refuse to seek satisfaction in some future alignment or external circumstance.
Whether that means waiting for a better kitchen or a less critical friend, we are claiming peace today, right now.
And the mechanism for claiming this peace is forgiveness. It's choosing to see the innocence in the people around us, no matter what the ego script is telling us.
This lesson is really a masterclass in projection. It reminds us that we receive what we give.
So if you desire to feel safe, to feel treasured and whole, the only requirement is that you offer that vision of sinlessness and certainty to everyone you encounter today.
Have a wonderful practice with this. When that familiar urge to judge or hold a grievance arises, just take a moment. Pause. Remember the priceless treasure you are discarding by clinging to that meager gift of judgment, and then choose again.
We look forward to joining you for the next exploration.
Take care.